That's a pretty interesting question for
Just
sure.
because, yeah, it's what is the one common myth about your profession? Because you guys, into the music game, there's obviously a lot of, it's popular, and there's just a lot going around with like, I don't know. I just feel like there's lots of misconceptions about this particular profession, or whatever you
Yeah,
want to call it,
even
or
just
just
art in
just
general.
art. Yeah, and art in general, but especially this art form. Like people just like, just I don't know, make a lot of assumptions about music or
Right.
producing or rap, especially. So
Yeah.
I just want to know what you guys are thinking about that, or
No,
what
like
you
what
hear
comes to
around.
mind,
Yeah.
go ahead. What comes to mind when you say that is like hella people thinking the stereotype of you could like maybe make hella songs and then just like get viral off of that. And like, oh, I would just be working harder. I would just be making more songs. I would just be
Yeah.
grinding like that. And
Yeah.
like making a song like for like can be really easy a day and then can be impossible a day. Like,
Oh
some
yeah.
days I got hella stuff, some days I don't got nothing. And I think that's a common miss, like, that you're always ready to be creative. Like I'm always saying, stay creative, stay productive, and at least shoot for that because it's
It's
really hard to
hard.
stay.
Yeah. Oh, it's like
Yeah.
that for visual art. It's hard to keep it going.
Yeah.
I
Hell
could
yeah.
imagine.
Because you have like these impulses and these like, yeah, you just want to do it one day, and then the next day you're just not motivated to go do that thing, and you just want to find something else
Yeah.
to do. And
Or you might even be motivated. It's just not coming. It's just not
yeah, the
coming.
inspiration, yeah,
Yeah.
is
And I think that's
not
especially
consistent.
true with music. I used to make music in a band, and like some days just aren't musical days.
You just
Like,
don't
You
feel
know,
like it. You
some
have
days
other
you just
shit in
want to
your
come
head.
home,
hmm
right?
Relax.
Hop on the Apex. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
like when I clock off for work, like the hour or so before that, I'm kind of planning out what I'm gonna do when I get off. Like, all right, I'm gonna go home and work on this like music, or I'm gonna go home work on shop side stuff, or I'm gonna go home and instantly start taking dabs and playing Apex. Like that
Boom.
is my goal.
Boom.
That
Uh,
is my whole focus. Like, and it has the same focus as if I was going home to work on beats. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
relaxation is very serious, and like if I
Yeah,
end up
that's a good way to look
overworking,
at it. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say
people,
consistency is like one of the hardest things for art, and that's why like but what's
hmm
been so important for art is getting better at, like, if you want to get better at anything, you just have to do it every day. So if you just
you
like
have to do it. And you have to show it too. Cause like I feel like
yeah.
I don't show
yeah,
it. I do it, but then I don't show no one, so I don't know I'm getting better.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
Like
I
for
was doing that
me
for a
when
while.
Chase, yeah, when Chase said like, "Hey, you fuck with my music," I really was like, "Damn, there's other people that actually see this shit like out there.
that hear
Hell
this. Oh,
yeah.
this is decent.
That there's
Oh,
hella
fuck
love,
off.
bro.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
like I'm
yeah,
actually
hell
doing
yeah.
something that I
Yeah,
should be doing.
that
Like,
helps so much. I mean, that's what like art's all about, is getting other people stoked about what you're doing. It's like one of the
Yeah,
For
big reasons
sure.
why you do art is just to be like, "Yo, I want you to be stoked about what I'm doing." So that I can
Yeah,
like have a purpose of why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I'm just doing this for myself, and you feel like shit. But
yeah.
if you get other people inspired or stoked, or you get them to just change their perspective in a little way, then it's like
yeah,
changes. It can change a lot. Even if it changes just their, yeah, just
facts.
because perception is reality, right? So if you change their perception just that little bit, they just be like, just open a whole new world for them. Because that's what, for
Whole. That's
me,
yeah.
I got so many just inspired by just words or just pictures or anything, like just little things that made me think, oh, well, that's actually possible before I thought it was impossible, right? And
hmm
like I think that's an important thing in life, is just tell people that they can do crazy things that they previously
Right.
didn't think they could do.
Put your content out. I need to
Yeah.
get on Twitter.
Yeah. Because yeah, put your
yeah.
content out
Twitter's
as
good.
just like, yeah, it doesn't, yeah, cuz that's the hardest part, right? Is to just feel that your stuff
You know what
is
I'm
going to
saying?
be
Like
worth
this
it.
is good enough. I'm
Yeah.
ready for this to be out there
Yeah.
to the world.
Yeah.
It's hard to get
Because
to that point.
it's
All
really
Facts.
easy to get ridiculed. But then like you can just take that as like, any attention towards what you're putting towards is like good attention, just like the media thing. Like any media is good media at the end of the day, just because you're getting people to notice you. You're getting, as long as you get the message you want out there and people are receiving it, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Not that it's
Facts.
got, a lot of people like it, or that's nice, but what you want is that message to go from you to the person. And as long as you have
Hell
that
yeah.
like intent, then you're doing God's work, man. You're fucking doing what you're
Yeah, it's all about
putting.
intention.
Yeah, you're putting your intention. You put your message out there. However they receive it is up to them. But that's just as
Yeah.
an artist, you get better and better at translating your message to that next person, which is
Hell yeah, that's
Facts.
preaching right here.
that's just the hardest part for me is like getting, because I have the clear message, but how do I get it? How do I make sure
Tough.
that when I'm sending it, that other person's gonna interpret it like correctly? Because at what
Exactly.
percentage? Because they're never really gonna see exactly what you're seeing, but you can get however much percentage of it to come across, and that's what you want, to be efficient and basically just efficient at doing that. And
Yeah.
that's what
It's been blowing my mind how fast that can happen.
yeah, the progression.
But yeah, I think really I haven't really shown any like in general until we started talking, Chase, and then I shared my just like my anime drawings with you. And
Right.
you were just stoked on them enough that I just started doing more.
Yeah.
And then like only like 6 months later and we're here.
How did you
But now,
guys
like-
get into the video stuff, right? Because you said just so that story you told me that was the beginning, kind of.
Yeah, that's
Start of
basically how we started working together. And Chase has been doing music videos for a long time,
Few years.
like 2.5 years now,
yeah, just about
almost 3, right? Yeah.
almost.
And
three.
I what I want to be is a filmmaker, but I just like we were talking about, it's hard to know when you can put it out there, like when it's good
Right.
enough to release stuff. And I was holding myself back because I didn't have the right camera, whatever, but I just
Yeah.
should chase my work. He thought it was cool enough. He's like, dude, you should try animating with me. And then the first video I ever worked on was Joust.
Hey,
I didn't do any animation, but I just designed the characters for Joust.
You're gonna
Yeah.
be hella famous one day, and I'm gonna be. Yeah, the first one I ever did was
From
Joust.
Messiah Jenkins,
From
baby.
Yeah,
Jenkins.
Joust Messiah Jenkins. I was hyped.
Yeah.
You
That
don't
was just
want
I'll be old in the mountains, or hopefully that this scenario is like in like a couple months. And,
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
just accelerated growth, baby.
It's some parallel growth going. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been into
Pull the whole crew
videos
up.
for a long time. I just made silly little videos, but then I got really into it like 2.5, 3 years ago. Just the idea that I could take my phone and phones were getting such good video and people were making movies with phones at the time, and I was like, all right, I can just take my phone. And the first thing I don't know if it was the first thing that's on my channel is me going to my cabin. I used to watch it with my cousin, and we just went out there because he made clothes, and so I was like, dude, I'll just take video of you while we're just screwing around in this cool landscape, because I love film and everything. So I was just fucking around. And then shortly after that, I did the first music video with a buddy of mine, and just kind of fucking around again. And like, people didn't really care for it. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? And looking back at it, it's like, yeah, that was kind of trash, but it was fun. And like, I didn't really care. And that's what I think is really important, is like, it's super hard to fixate on the work rather than the product, because if you fixate on the product, then you have to make a better thing every time. And when you do that to yourself, it's
Right.
just so hard to keep going, because it's not sustainable. You can't just keep making better and better and better and better over and over again.
Yeah.
You won't be able to do that for very long. So like, if you just get fixated on the work itself, and you just fall in love with the craft, and like, and just be passionate about what the thing that you're doing rather than the things you're making, even though it's really hard, because it's really hard. It's like one of the hardest things for me is to get rid of these shirts, man. It's like, I love them, but you got to get rid of them, and just because I know it can make more anyway, so it's like, whatever. I just like making them, so I have to focus on that. But it's not easy, because
Right.
you want to you want to just take a rest, and because you also want to take a rest and just look at your work and be like, this was awesome, I did this work. And that's also important, just to take a step back and look back at the things you're making and what you've done. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, fall in love with the craft, and I think you're good. I think you're good as long as you, because it's hard to, it's even harder to just accept that you're doing good to yourself. Like the work is good enough for you versus the work is good enough for other people. I think for me, but it's different for everyone, obviously. But for me, it was more like,
Right.
yeah,
That
just
definitely has to be the first stop. Like, doing it for yourself and
yeah,
liking doing the process versus
Yeah.
only fixating on the product and fixating on the very end point,
right.
but like focusing more on the process and making changes to your process to get different outcomes and all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, staying
Yeah,
creative.
for me, it has been really like listening to my own shit and looking at it and being like, this shit is good. Like, I always had that problem
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
being like, nah, it's not. It's not like you guys are saying, focusing on the end product, but just being like, damn, I really just sat in front of this computer for like 2 hours and like did some shit. Like, just be happy that I did some shit like that because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be so focused on like, damn, I didn't finish 3 songs like I said I was going to do. I didn't fucking mix something up, but like, nah, I did some work. I actually did work. Like, people get paid to
Yeah.
sit there
That's
and
what
do
it's all
this kind of
about,
stuff.
is just doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause then, yeah,
For real.
and especially nowadays, it's so easy. We're so used to just seeing the best of the best everywhere we look. Like especially with
Mm-hmm.
art, we look at the best
Yeah, that's the
artists.
hard part about the internet.
And that's why at the beginning when I was drawing, I was like, there's no way I can just draw and that'll be my thing because everyone else is better at drawing than me that I see. Like everywhere I look, people are drawing like realistic faces and stuff. I'm over here drawing stick men. I'm still drawing with stick people, dude. Like I still draw like a child, but like that's just the way I like drawing. So I just did that and I've been doing it like every day for years. So like I'm going to get better at it and it'll continue because I like doing it. So like I don't know,
Yeah.
that's it's just an interesting thing. And yeah, a misconception I think about art is that you just can just keep doing it. It's just people don't realize how hard it is to be consistent. Basically, the consistency is like the hardest part of
Mhm.
art. For most people
Consistency and
or everyone.
yeah, like having a bad day in art, if you're bummed or
It
whatever, it's like,
happens.
oh,
Yeah.
you're doing art, man. Like at least you're not, like scraping shit off a deck on a boat or something. It's like, I don't know, dude. Like there's bad days in everything, Like
Yeah,
some days it just suck, no matter what job you're in.
facts.